You're listening to Truth, Wellness, and Psychic Adventures with Kristin and Polly, only on LA Talk Radio.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to Truth, Wellness, and Psychic Adventures. I'm Kristin. As always, I have with me Polly. She is everyone's favorite psychic medium, intuitive coach, and all-around wellness guru. Even though we don't like the word guru.
We do not. And thank you so much for that. lovely introduction. I agree. And I'm just going to let all those titles just drift away because I happen to be in Sedona today. So all that doesn't matter is released.
So that, I think, is a great place to start because we were messaging earlier today and I knew Polly was in Sedona, which if you've not been, go. It's a special place.
Yeah.
And what did you say? I wish I had my phone here. I had no idea we were going to be quoting this, but you said something so it resonated really big with me.
I can't remember the exact thing, but it was really like I was feeling like anything that is not essentially who you are, like your essence, falls away. Like I just feel like I can feel like your bones settle and what you need on your bones you have, but all the frivolity, and I love frivolity, but all the frivolity in terms of like the crap that doesn't matter that we think
all
about.
The BS.
Yes, that just is gone. It's real. You let go of it. It just falls away. It's like the easiest place to just let that go.
For sure. And you know what I wonder is, because this is what happened. We went on a retreat toward the end of September, beginning of October. Polly had a spiritual retreat in Sedona, and it was such a fantastic reset. So when you sent me that message, I had this like vision of us standing in the back of the house that we had the retreat in. It was a beautiful view. And initially I was like, oh, this is dangerous because it was just a big patio deck. But I loved it because it didn't have the railing. So for me, it was very much a limitless vibe. Like, yeah, be cautious. But you could just stand there. So when you sent me that message, I had like a feeling of standing there and the pleasant breeze just kind of blows at you and like a veil or a strainer. All the BS blows away and it just leaves you with who you are to be one with nature.
Yeah, it's really true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm super sensitive to, as most of us are, but I'm crazy sensitive to like environmental stuff, like crazy sensitive. And it just kind of gives like this hum, if you will, like this this hum. I don't know how else to describe it. That I mean, I feel it lots of places, and sometimes I feel it when I don't want to feel it. but it's just like this. It's just this hum, if you will. It's just like this sensation that moves through. And it just helps you, it just shakes things loose.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Like, because we are all, everything is some sort of energetic vibration. So the hum, like you can feel the vibration of that. And it does, it just kind of jiggles what doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
So that you can let it, but there's a certain amount of like internal release to let the wind blow it free.
Yes.
Like you're primed and ready. The Sedona environment and vibe gets you there. And then it's up to you to allow the release.
Yes, true. Because what it reminds me of is, a million years ago, like when my life changed because of a health thing and, my whole spiritual world just went upside down. But it was that hum, right? I experienced that vibrational change in my body. Like there's no other way to describe it. And everything shifted. But coming here and just the way just in life in general, but coming here is really apparent. Like I just feel that hum. I just feel that. It's like if you stand on something, you have one of those little things that shakes you.
Yeah, a vibration plate. So it's like it looks like a snowboard.
Yeah,
exactly. But elevated. Plug it in, turn it on, and it just starts to shake. You can change your level of shakedown, breakdown, but it just shakes things loose.
That's exactly what this is. So I'm on the very mildest shake. I'm not like I can walk.
Level what?
50. It's just this little. It's interesting.
Nobody gets hurt. Just a little hum.
No,
just a little. Hey
nobody gets hurt. Yes, exactly. And I didn't tell you this. I maybe I'll send this to you, just for fun. What did I do yesterday? I got one of those auric readings.
Ah, yes.
I can send you the information.
Oh, please do. So you did it in person? You popped in? And...
Yeah, did it in person.
Wow.
And then it was revealed at the end.
Oh my God. This is going to be good.
Funny.
Was there a portal? Was there a portal? Did you have 800 angels?
I didn't, but they do,
Okay.
they do this picture and then they give you like this little reading of what it means. And it's curious to me, like I should go back and get a different one. And I was really tired when I went and had it done. But okay, so then at the end, so she looks at it, she gives me like a blow by blow of all my chakras. And my throat chakra is closed. But I'm mostly
Dagnabbit.
there's some other funny stuff. But anyhow, at the end, I was like, hey, if you ever want to come to be a guest in my psychic development class. And she does these readings. And guess what she said? Oh, I'd love to, because I can kind of see stuff, but I don't really know what I'm doing. Isn't that fun?
Oh my God. Were you like, that's great. How much do I owe you?
It was prepaid. I just love it. I mean, that's what I love coming. That's what I love about this place is there's some real, like real amazing people here, like amazing, like the sound healer, like amazing things here, amazing people. Mm-hmm. And then there's some that are just like, it's like they're going and working at Walgreens, but they're
but also they do this. But you know what I love about that so much is the confidence and the representation. Like initially on the meeting, like maybe they've got a really solid website where you log in and you pay them, and then they schedule this appointment with you, and they are very, I don't know, professional. And then at the end, they're like, well, you know what? I'd love a few tips because I don't really know what the hell I'm doing.
Isn't that funny?
That is the best.
It is. But I'll send you this. I'll send you the whole thing because it is kind of funny.
Oh yeah, but you know what? Kudos to her for wanting to fine tune her skills. Like,
absolutely.
I am here when people want to up their game and learn. I'm all for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's no ego in that. I love it.
No, 100%. Because
how did you find her?
I just went into one of those crystal stores.
Oh,
Yeah, I've done it before at the same one.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, so anyhow, I'll do it again and see if there's a change. Okay, so we're talking about grounding today.
We are.
Sedona's place to ground.
Yes.
Oh wait, what's your high vibrational moment?
My high vibrational moment. Let's see. Oh, you know what? This is pretty simple, and it just made me feel good, like a very very good feeling. So last week when we were on air, my parents were visiting because we had gone to Hawaii. The kids needed Grammy and Grandpa to babysit. And then we said our goodbyes, and it was so sad. And then just in the last couple days, my sister and her hubby and mom and dad are going to be coming down for Christmas.
Oh.
And that was everything we needed. Like my youngest daughter was so sad to say goodbye.
Oh.
So she basically, the little one, 13 years old, she orchestrated all this via text.
Oh, that's awesome.
Give your kid an iPad and see what happens. So she has planned with everyone, helped them find flights, and let them know.
Awesome.
Yeah, mom can come get you at the airport. So yeah, we're vibing high. Last night everything was finalized, tickets were finalized, and yeah, we've got a beautiful Christmas holiday to look forward to.
That is awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
How
about
okay,
you?
my vibe is, so we're in Sedona and we're doing a little road trip, my boyfriend and I. And then my middle child, she called and she's going to drive and meet us here. So as soon as I'm done with this, we're going to Whole Foods and we're going hiking. So I get to go hiking with her before I continue on my road trip. I know. It's so fun. As she drives back to Montana so she's going out of her way because she had been in Grand Canyon. Now she's going back to Yellowstone.
I have to say, she is the most fantastic road driver.
She is.
Like, she's super competent. I was not that competent at early 20s?
Oh God, no.
No. She's very together. I would let her drive me anywhere.
Yeah, I know.
I have let her drive me anywhere.
As we all, yes. I know, it's crazy. And it's so crazy, like I guess that's the part of it, is like to see your kids grow up, like your youngest orchestrating this thing is, it's so cool. It is cool.
Nice. It's nice to kind of sit. I mean, well, obviously we're still present parents, but it's nice to sit back and kind of observe what they do when given some rope. Like, Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. It is. It's such a, that is, and then that they want to spend time with you, right?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, that in itself is a miracle.
Oh,
That they don't fixate on what you did wrong.
I'm sure there'll be some of that as well, but
Yes.
and you know what? Me too. I can't focus on what they've done wrong. I must move
Yes.
past that, and such is
Yes.
life, the life lessons.
Okay. Why do you, so we're talking about grounding today. Why do you
Mhm.
think grounding is important? Like for you, why is grounding important?
For me, it gets me settled in because sometimes I feel like I've got two mind frames going on. I mean, a lot of gray in between, but sometimes I'm just really meditative-y and floaty, and I'm trying to connect with the spirit world, and that feels very high chakra, heavenly. And then there's life to do. There's parenting to do. I got to work. I got to drive. I need to be present in my earthly experience here. So it brings me home. It brings me back to my body to really ground in and physically ground in. Like take my bare feet and smash them
Mm.
into the sand or toes in the grass, kick in the water, like something earthy. I was reading something the other day. Oh, you know what? It was about like tapping, you know?
Mhm.
And that also kind of brings you back into your body and helps you ground. And they made a really good point that I hadn't considered. But often we spend a lot of time in big hotels, office buildings, where we're on like the 15th floor. Our feet are so far away from the ground, and we don't really think about that because we're standing on something and we're safe. But we're pretty darn far away from Mother Earth, and the idea of really being not just present in the shenanigans going on around you, but also just being present in a planetary experience, interacting with other people and the earth, like that's something where you have to connect. And I think that's what just physically touching the earth in some capacity with my body brings me back, and I just feel a little bit more present. I can interact with people better and get a productive day done.
I like that. And it's true. Like you think about driving, like you get in the car and you go super fast. I mean, look, even if you're going 30, you're going super fast
That's
compared
faster
to
than I can run.
right.
Really.
So it's going super fast, going down the road, you're not touching the ground, right? So there is that kind of, I always feel like that's like driving is, well, God knows for me, driving's really a grounding. But
Yeah.
anyhow,
And then flying.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I almost feel like flying is more grounding for me than driving, and I don't know
Really?
why. Yeah.
Interesting.
But for me, grounding, like the need for grounding is it settles. Like it settles things into me. It settle like it settles me, and you know, any disturbances, so to speak, those no longer are part of those disturbances. Those distractions are let go of. So like anything I was feeling worried about, anxious about, gone.
Okay, so it just brings you back to like what's truly important.
It just, yeah, it just feels like it centers me. Like it's so flippin' important to me. And like my astrological chart, I have oh no, I have no fire.
Well, that's unfortunate. What do you got? Some earth and wind?
Wait, I don't think I have very much. I have like hardly any earth. I have like air and water.
Now, that's funny to me because I would think you quite earthy.
I know, but that's why I think I have to roll around in the dirt the way I do, because I have to have that earth. Because it's like it is like this. It's like a magnet for me. Like being in a dirt pile practically is a magnet for me. Being outside is a magnet for me.
Yes. Can you? So here I think is, and I've known this about you, but when I really saw it and saw you before, your before and after feelings here, our last day of the retreat in Sedona, and this has been, like what, 3 days of pretty intense spiritual development. So Polly's channeling and healing and doing her things, high chakra functioning, I would say. And although maybe we went on some walks, it wasn't like you weren't getting your earthy vibe that you usually get. All that to say, the last morning of the retreat, when we were done, you knew that your body needed like a nice long walk. And by a walk, I mean like a deathly hike up a mountainside. But you before that and then after that, it was like a total switch.
It totally is. It totally is. It totally is. Like I'm just I just I have to have it. Like, and that's why I do it in the morning. Like it's it resets me. And then I can go, like I do that in the morning and then I can do my psychic work, see clients, do whatever. But I have to have that in the morning. It grounds me and makes me feel strong. Right? There's this element of strength.
Everybody needs strength. And to put you more on the spot, what, like if you were going to talk us through your personal grounding practice in the morning, do you have something you do daily? Do you kind of mix it up and do something different depending on what your needs are? Or what would you recommend or share?
I mean, I do my meditation and prayer every morning, and I really like to sit on the floor for that. And sometimes, weather permitting, I go outside. But I think for me, like I know I have to get outside. I have to go hiking or running. And then I do that. And then now I also go to the gym and do weights. But that's a little bit different. But I think I wanted to talk about like the different ways to ground.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's so many different ways, like just like watering your plants or weeding your garden. That's a super nurturing grounding. Like, oh my God, that feels so good to be taking part in what the earth is offering, and you're watering the plants, so you're nourishing and you're being nourished and you feel the sun. And oh my God, that's such a beautiful, gentle experience of grounding.
It's a huge connection to nature.
Yeah.
Something I recently added to my grounding practice. I'll tell you what it was before and what I added. Before, it was very much a cleansing, grounding, protection situation that I did. I would, like, the bulk of my morning meditation, I would try to align and clear the chakras, but I would just ask spirit to cleanse and remove anything that's no longer serving me and just kind of specific things I wanted gone. So clear it. And then ground. And I would just try to really plant my feet in the ground or just feel connected to the earth. And it was just a feeling. And I would say like, connect me into the earth and let me feel present and safe in my body. And then, so cleanse, ground, and then protect. And then I would feel like this cylinder from the earth to the heavens around me, protecting me, my energy. And I would ask for protection on my family. And that served me very well. But what I've recently added that I really like is a huge sense of gratitude, not just at the end of my meditation prayer, but right out of the gate when I connect into Mother Earth. And I've started calling it that because that brings out a nurturing, loving vibe, like for what I love my mother and me as a mother. I connect into the earth and with such gratitude, thank you for the earth and all that it gives me. Let me feel grounded and connected, and let me be able to take care of the earth as it takes care of us, and let us all be overwhelmed with the vibe to take care of the earth and treat her with the love and provision that she gives us. And I went on this rampage the other day just on a walk through a little park, and it felt so good. And so I've hung on to that just because that kind of grounding, being outside, and life happens, so you can't be outside every day. So when you can't, you have to hang on to the memory you had of being outside and call on that feeling and that connection to nature. And I feel like that gives me the same vibe on those days that I'm just like, oh, I can't, but I can sit here for 2 minutes and remember that connection.
I love that. And, there's something really beautiful about that. I have so much respect for the people who grow our organic food, who are out there, and they really do. They grow nutritious organic food for us. The produce and they are so in tuned with the weather. They're so in tuned with with the nutrients of the soil.
Yes.
I have so much appreciation for them. But that's another way that we can get grounded is by eating really nutritious food, right? Like what feels better than, if you've gone out and you've been productive and you worked hard physically, blah, 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 and you come back and you have like this really nutritious, of course, vegan meal.
Right.
It feels so good to fill your belly with this really good food.
Totally. So, and on a flip side of that, if you've been really naughty and had a wild night of partying, maybe one too many skinny margaritas, and then you wake up and you're like, what have I done with my life? A green juice,
Yes,
it will bring you back. And so it's just whatever we need, a reward, a connection, a pick me up, a save me, the earth has it right there. But you're right. Like it sets you right. It's a connection.
It does. And it also reminds us, it reminds me anyhow, of the basics in our life, right? It's like the basic necessities in our life, which, we have to have food, water, oxygen, shelter, that type of stuff. But that's really like remembering that, connecting with that, honoring that, respecting that, right? It's so important. And that's what, I believe our ancestors, a long time ago, that's really how they had to survive, right?
Oh, for sure.
And the cycles,
yes.
and knowing the cycles of the weather, the cycles of everything, and honoring that and working within that. And even if all you do is you go out and you feel what the weather is, right? And you recognize how it's impacting your food supply, how it's right, like all of that. That can be a very earthing if you are out in the weather and you just feel it and you recognize how it fits into the cycle.
Yes. Yeah. You're present.
Yeah.
And you're feeling what's happening and you're appreciating it. Like you feel it and you take the time. And I think this goes back to something we talked about last week. It's a moment to release the distractions.
Yes.
And just
absolutely.
really be present in what the earth is offering you. And
well, even I was going to say, like, even if, like I love a good windstorm. Like I love like when you have those weathers and even, like, oh my God, the sun was so flipping hot this summer. But even recognizing that I like to be reminded that there are things outside of our human control. Quite honestly.
It's humbling. It's very humbling.
I like to be reminded that we cannot control the flipping wind. I like to be reminded we cannot control. I like that. And I think we need that.
We do. And we need it for a couple reasons. I think the first is sometimes we get a little too ego powerful, like, oh, I've got the power over everything. And two, it's comforting because we need to know we're not supposed to feel stressed and the need to control stuff. Like, guess what? Take a step back and just relax into what is going on out there because you can't stop it. You should pay attention to what it is in case there's preparations or action steps needed on your part, but it's not up to you. Just relax and absorb it.
Yeah. And thankfully, we have weathermen that tell us if there's like a hurricane coming in or whatever, right?
And they're always correct, so there's that.
And there's that. But it's really, I don't know. I love connecting to the natural series of events, right? Mm-hmm. And how that impacts us.
Yes.
How it guides us. How it should guide us, right? It should guide us.
And it can sometimes change everything. So, I was in Hawaii last week, and we went to Kauai, and I was fascinated with the chicken and rooster situation. Because, I grew up in Missouri.
It's so cute.
And there were plenty of chicken coops and stuff like that for eggs. Like I wasn't witness to any kind of slaughtering of a chicken or anything, but the eggs, that's what you wanted. And you would go out and it was almost like pets. Like they were very fat chickens, fat roosters, and they just kind of didn't do much. Maybe flew around inside the little coop, but it wasn't that crazy. However, in Kauai, we are just driving from airport to hotel, and there are wild roosters and chickens everywhere, and they looked almost feral in their thinness.
They are feral.
They were very feral. And so we asked the driver, we're like, what is the deal with these wild, because I'm thinking maybe they're someone's pet. That's where my comfort zone is, my baseline. When are they going home? Is there no leash for this chicken? Turns out the hurricane in, I don't know, like the late 80s, early 90s, a hurricane came through that devastated the Kauai Island, and it released all the chickens and roosters into the wild, And then that is where they remain. So they're very almost, what did he say? They have kind of a raccoon vibe where they will just go through trash and eat what they can eat. But they're not mean at all. But there we go in my wild story of an example of how like nature, a natural disaster, a hurricane can completely change a topographical experience. Like these chickens and roosters, their lives changed after that. Now they're more wild, they can run free, and it's different now.
So interesting, because I remember all the chickens, but there's not as many, but there are still lots of chickens on the Big Island. Like you go to Waimea and they're running around. But I did not know how all those chickens originated. So interesting.
I haven't done any research myself, but I can say that our driver gave me that explanation, and it sounded great at the time. So I just wanted to share it with you.
The wild goats on the Big Island. Well, there's wild goats on Kauai also.
I didn't see any.
If you go to that secret beach I told you about, yep, they're there.
Okay.
They're up there. Yeah, there's, oh my God, the wild goats on the Big Island. Unbelievable. And the last time I was driving, one almost, it was so scary because they just run across the road. But I didn't hit it. It ran past the back of the car. But believe me, I was like scared to death. Okay, and we're going to get on to something more serious, but I just have to tell you, and hopefully other people will find this humorous. So last night I'm having my dreams. You know what I dreamed about? That Finn, my 17-year-old, was in my dream. He was talking about the size of my chakras, like giving me a blow by blow of the size of my chakras and how they should be looking. Isn't that funny?
So I've got follow-up questions. One, have you told Finn about this dream yet?
No, because I just remembered it while we were doing our show.
Oh, okay, nice.
I didn't remember it until
Do you remember the details of what he was sharing you? Like
it just was. I don't think he was impressed, and I think it has to do with my my auric reading yesterday. Like I think he was kind of like looking at that and being like, "This isn't very good."
All right, we've got some opening of the chakras to do, Mom. Let's get it together.
Yeah, right. This is not impressive. Anyhow, for whatever reason, I remember that dream while we were doing this. Okay, so the importance of grounding. Just laying on the ground. Yes. Just laying on the ground. And also, I really think animals really help with grounding. Like, if you're settled and you have like your little friend, dog, cat friend. But for me, large animals, oh my God, they are so grounding. You think of it like a horse or a cow and their big hearts. Hang out with them, sit on the ground with them for a bit. So grounding.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
I do. I remember that as a kid. Like that is, you want to feel safe and grounded. That's it.
Yeah. So being a Pilates instructor and fascinated with movement, one of the some of the Pilates exercises that Joseph Pilates created are named after animals. For example, Elephant on the Reformer is a very rounded spine, pelvis tucked exercise. And so it is rumored, and I don't know about elephants specifically, but he would observe animals and really appreciate the way they would stretch and move kind of organically. And so a lot of the exercises are subsequently named after animals, which, and this is before I became, interested in Pilates. I remember being fascinated with the way like cats and dogs would stretch and down dog, like the cat stretch. It all seems so. And so for me, although I wasn't maybe lying down with them, just being in their presence and observing their bodies and kind of honing in on that felt grounding.
Yeah.
So you can get that grounding feeling and benefit by a variety of ways. You don't actually have to, stand with your bare feet in the dirt. Be around the animals, like absorb it in so many different ways, but still benefit the idea of you're connected again and you're present and you're here.
Yeah, I love the idea of, you can do it where it's a very physical experience, or you can do it where you're just, laying on the ground. But I love like slow stretches, like slow, gentle stretches on the ground, opening things up. And maybe, if we think about grounding in terms of like we're creating space, right? Creating space to receive, creating space, we're getting rid of the distractions so that we can receive, so that we are available, right? And maybe that's the most important thing about grounding is it allows us to be available.
Yeah. Like an empty straw, just ready to be filled.
Yeah.
Like that.
I mean, because look there's so much, source, our team, or there's so much available to us, but we get caught up in the distraction, so to speak.
Yes. Yep. Oh, and there's always a distraction.
There is
Always.
there
Like
is.
I look at my to-do list and I'm like, well, it's not a day-to-day thing. Like this will never get done today. And it's not me being negative. I'm being a realist here. And it's not supposed to. Like this list is ongoing. And the second I think I've got it, I'm like, oh no, wait, I want to do a little bit more to that one. So there's forever a distraction. And you almost have to just carve out the time to say, okay, this will be my grounding practice. This is when
you do need to.
I have to.
Prioritize
You have to.
Yes. Okay, what do you think about this? This just came to me. What do you think about this? As we get older and we settle in, because we just naturally, shift a little bit, we move a little bit slower, we become not necessarily heavier, but we move a little bit slower, possibly lower to the ground. We're not climbing the trees, maybe, I don't know, maybe not as much, whatever. But what do you think about we just naturally become more grounded with age, just because just the gravitational pull holds us more in a steady state? What do you think of that?
Well, right when you were saying that, what came to my mind is like the circle of life, how we start on all fours, crawling as a baby, and then we experience life at our, I don't even want to say prime. Yeah. And then we come back and it just pulls us back down.
It does.
That is deep. I kind of like that.
Because it does. It holds you in place. There's a steadiness to it. And maybe that's the whole point of it is there's this steadiness to it. And the more we can connect with that grounding, that steadiness of life, the more it's like we go through the transitions, we go through everything with peace and calm, right? Without, losing it, so to speak. Like we can go through these changes with peace and calm.
Yep. Oh, for sure. I love this. That makes total sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And you want to hear something? Did even one of my kids? I don't think any of my kids crawled.
What?
All
they
three.
Do a boot scoot?
So out of three, one of them did the army scoot. One scooted on the butt. I can't remember the middle one did do. I have a picture of her crawling, but it was like maybe one time. Isn't that weird?
Yes.
Yeah, none of them did.
That's funny.
Yeah, I know. Funny thing about life. Okay. Where are we at in time? We're still good.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so what's a psychic adventure that you've had this week? What's some psychic cool thing that's happened?
Okay. Before I answer that, I will just announce to the listeners, if you want to call in for a psychic reading, a card, some intuitive guidance, you don't even have to give us your name. Feel free to make it anonymous. The phone number you would call is 323-203-0815. 323-203-0815. Give us a call and we would love to chit chat and connect.
Yes.
Okay, a psychic adventure for me. When you were talking about the dream you had last night with Finn analyzing your chakras and giving you some unimpressive feedback, it pinged a memory in my head of a dream I had, and like all the details are now coming back to me, because you have a dream and you don't even think about it until like something rattles it to you. So I had a dream, and it was about this, and this wasn't like just to set your expectations, this isn't like an astronomical thing. This is just kind of like a fun coincidence. But we're going to call it a psychic adventure. I had a dream about this red car just driving, and I don't know if I was driving it or if it was beside me, just a red car. And in my family, we do not have any red cars here at the house. We have a variety of other cars, blue, gray, white, green, no red. So then I was parked in a parking lot, and it was safe, but it was at night, and I was by myself, and I was very like aware. So not nervous, but just aware. And then this red car like came up and parked, and it was just two women, and they kind of waved at me, and I was like, oh my God, I'm totally safe. And then I left, and I thought, well, then that was interesting. Then this morning, I go to work very, very early, and it is a safe plaza. I'm making it sound like it's dangerous, but we have had a bit of a homeless, unhoused population problem. So I'm on high alert when I pull in. And I am not kidding. No one's ever there. I'm there at 5:30 in the morning. But occasionally there'll be some homeless wandering around, and I've had to call the police and just kind of, feel protected. I pulled in. I see one guy wandering. I get suspicious. Two cars pull up, red cars, and I walk in, and they get out, and like one of them's going to get coffee. The other one is going to get a burrito at this little cafe down the way. And I was like, wow, these red cars. I guess for me, a red car is safety, and it felt good.
That's really sweet. I was waiting for you to have two women that waved.
Oh, they were both women.
Okay.
They separated in the car. So yeah, there you go.
Okay, so mine actually, I had to think about what happened, but actually this morning. So I write for Eden Magazine. I do several writing stuff, and so I'm constantly like, okay, thinking, what can be interesting. So for Eden, I'm just gonna do. I decided to do a thing about my road trip, like what lesson am I learning each day. So I did meditation this morning.
Cool.
And the first thing that I heard is I don't have to push so hard. Like not just me, but just in general, like humanity doesn't have to push so hard to connect with our guides, with our angels. Like don't push so hard.
Okay. And
so then the next thing is I got a message for somebody that I care very much about, and it was from her mother who's crossed over, and it was that she's watching over her daughter, and I'm like,
that's so sweet.
It touched me. So after my meditation and prayer, I reached out to that person, and I said, by the way, your mom reached out to me, and she said she's really guiding, helping your daughter, protecting your daughter. And guess what? This morning, her mother came to her in her meditation.
Stop it.
Yeah.
She was traveling.
She was. And it's not the first time her mother has done that. Her mother did that to us, God, I want to say 6 years ago. Same thing. Yeah.
Did she come through for the daughter specifically always, or other things as well?
The first time was for my friend, and then this time was about her daughter. Both of us received a message about her mother watching over her daughter. Isn't that crazy? But it's
that gives
so
me
funny
goosebumps.
because I texted my friend back, and I was like, it's so funny how your mom likes you to have that validation. She literally comes to me and then comes to her, and so she gets that validation of coming to both of us in the same day. Isn't that funny?
It is. And how, we don't know, but how do you think it works for her mom who's crossed over? Like, I so wonder what it's like for them to peek down and like, I think I'll zip down this elevator to her, or zip down to Polly, and like, I
don't know. I think they can do everything. And then another thing is, like, I had a brother who, God, I lost so long ago. He committed suicide so long ago. And he's not somebody that I connect with, like, very seldom. And people frequently ask me that. And I think that that's why, I mean, I'm sure I have like some block or whatever. There's a reason why. Like, if we're not connecting, there's a reason why. But anyhow, but that's one of the reasons why I think young men who have committed suicide, oh my God, they find me like a flippin' beacon, right?
Really?
Yeah, they come to me because they know I'm going to get the message to whoever. It's the weirdest thing. But guess who came to me this morning?
Your brother?
My brother. I know, isn't that crazy?
Yes.
I think about him a lot when I come here to Sedona, because there's a street called Timothy Street. And I think of every time I come here, I think about that. But anyhow, he came to me this morning.
Oh, I
and
love that.
and that was like the segue to my friend's mother. Anyhow, so interesting.
So when I have follow-up questions, of course.
Yeah.
When guys who have committed suicide, they come to you.
Yeah.
When they come to you, is it people that you know, or are they
No.
like, hey?
No,
So you
not
have,
at all.
are they
It's
asking you
people-
to find people? Are you able to do
come
that?
yeah, they come to me before I meet the people. It's the weirdest
Oh,
thing. Like they
okay.
come to me and then maybe I don't meet the person for 2 days. I mean, sometimes that person, like that one time, I was it was in Phoenix, and Finn and I were at a restaurant pub. There was like a bar, and the guy came to me and his sister was sitting at the bar. And I was like, I wasn't going to go say something to her. And I would like sit up or stand up and sit down. And Finn's like, don't do it. And eventually I did tell her, but it was, yeah.
What
So
did you? Were you just like, excuse me?
Yeah,
I am a psychic medium,
because I don't like doing that. Do you believe in life after death? And she's
Okay.
like, maybe. And so I said, well, there's a man here. And I just shared the information. And the thing is they come to me in such a agitated state is the best way I can describe it. Like they so much want to get that message across.
Wow.
So,
So
I know
are
it's the
they
weirdest thing.
happy to have stumbled upon you?
I think
Like again,
listen,
I'm wondering what it's like. Are they just glancing at the pub
I
and
think
seeing
they
like
know.
a white light?
I think that on the other side, they're constantly like I just know that they're constantly connecting with us, but it's whether or not we are paying attention, whether or not like what are we doing? Like, you know, are we grounding ourselves? Are we making ourselves available? Like and it's not necessarily like everybody's going to have different abilities or whatever, but we all have the ability to connect with other realms. All of us do. It's just, do we want to? Do we want to make time for it?
Yeah.
How important is it?
When I first started connecting, like purposefully and, you know, looking to connect with those who had crossed over, like my great grandma, I would do something like show me a butterfly. And then that became almost, then I just started seeing too many butterflies. So I was like, maybe this is coincidence. So it would be more like, show me, and I would get so crazy specific to the point where it was, show me a giraffe that's around something yellow. And I'm not kidding. Let it be a challenge this week. Do that. If you want to connect with someone who's crossed over, be specific enough to be like, show me, and ask for that. And I'll be darned if it doesn't come to you. It's fascinating. Like it just, welcome back.
Somebody's with us. Maybe.
Hello.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
The best would have been if you came back with a picture of a giraffe. I'd be like, oh.
Well, you know what? Before you said giraffe, I was thinking of pink kangaroo. So it's so funny that you said giraffe because I was, show me a pink kangaroo.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay, we have time to pull our cards.
Yes.
And,
Ooh,
you know,
I gotta find my
have
cards.
one next to me in my little bag, my deck. Look how sweet this is, though, if I can just say this. How it's so old. Like I have the cake. Like I've been carting this deck around for so long. It's so cute.
You know, I feel like since it's still in the box, what makes a deck, when you know it's really old, is when you lose the box or it falls apart and you rubber band them together.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
All right. Let me give
I'd be
these a
too
good
lazy
mix
and I wouldn't rubber band it. And that would be a problem. So many good things in life. So many flipping good things.
Thank you, God.
So many. Oh my God. I'm kind of overflowing with the goodness of life.
Okay.
What do you have? What's the week ahead?
Yes. Okay. The week ahead. I'm kind of excited about this card. Okay. The Lovers, Ecstasy. I don't know. I feel like it's not just, so obviously if you look at this card, for those of you that can see it, it is the depicted
What is
card. It's a man and a woman completely intertwined in a naked loving embrace. That's what we've got here. The Lovers, and then beneath that it says Ecstasy. But what I'm feeling is that it's a partnership. Like,
oh my God. I'm not kidding you.
You just got a card that said partnership.
This just fell out.
I love this.
It just fell out of the deck. Okay, now there are going to be people that think, oh no, they planned this. I'm not kidding you. Just fell out of the deck.
Oh my God, I love this. I love this for us. I love this.
Too.
Okay, so now I feel all sorts of validation, so I'll just go. I am feeling like this is a partnership and like of adventure. So not necessarily a romantic sexual connection as the card might indicate, or maybe that's my mind, but more like a partnership of camaraderie and connection going on an adventure. Like there's not only someone with you, but you are about to embark on a really cool thing, a road trip, or maybe like a business venture, or even just a walk, like something where it's impactful and super enjoyable, and you just got to relax into it. Instead of thinking, what can I get out of this? What's in this for me? Just be present, distractions aside, and enjoy this lover partnership connection.
Love it. I just have to say, like, I love life. I love like how things just unfold. I love it. I love it. So, I mean, this is so funny, but for me, the partnership is like also to remind us of how we connect, right? Because we become partners with the universe, right? We are a partner with the universe. We become partners with everything we give our attention to. And so pay attention this week to what you're connecting to. Pay attention to what you are in a partnership with, right? Because, right, like we can decide to partnership with some really crappy things, or we can decide to partnership with just some really good things and just see how it takes form. Yes. Right? I think this is also a reminder to allow things to take form, like, because that's what manifesting is, right? Mm-hmm. It's like it's like creating and allowing things to take form. And so what in your life, this week are you allowing to take form? What partnerships are showing up for you? What do you want more of? What do you want less of?
Yes. Oh, I love that, because it can be whatever you want.
It can be whatever you want. And that is so true. And I swear to God, when somebody says, there's so many like trite little things out there. And if you're having a bad day and somebody says some trite little thing, you're like, I won't say it, but F off.
Yes.
Right? You can be in that mood, but it really is. And we all get there, but it really is like, we really do get to choose how we want to move through the world. And all of us are going to have those moments where we're like, F off, but we really do get to choose.
And it's a beautiful thing. And partnership with, like, to bring it full circle, partnership with the earth, with grounding with the earth, with gratitude.
Yeah. Okay. And not everybody knows this, but Kristin knows this, because where I'm at right now, it's so hot in the summer. I'm really looking for a cooler place, but I won't be there for like 2 years. And Sedona is one of my questions. Would I want to live here?
Do you want to partner with Sedona?
Do I want to partner with Sedona? Or do I want to partner with New Mexico? Where do I want to partner?
The world is your oyster.
Part of the earth. Oh my God, I'm so excited. So excited.
I feel that. I love this.
Okay, Kristin, how can they learn more about you and your coaching, your healing, all the flippin' amazing things that you offer?
Yes. Well, the good thing is, although Polly and I are a little bit booked for 2023, we both have amazing new opportunities for you to work with us, different services coming up. Follow along for that big announcement at the beginning of the year. GaragePilates.net. Follow us on Instagram, truth.wellness.psychic. Follow along in our link tree and you can find us. Polly?
Thank you. So you can find me on pollywirum.com, and I am not taking any new clients, my regular clients, yes, but no new clients until 2024. You can find my writing on Eden Magazine, Your Tango, and just join us. I think that's the best thing. Like if you
Yeah.
want to, or reach out and be part of the psychic class, because I take guests for that. So if you're interested in that, let me know.
Absolutely.
Mostly just go ahead and enjoy life.
Have fun
Just go
with
ahead
it.
and enjoy life.
Have
That's
fun.
the best. That's the best thing. Have
I
fun.
love it.
So, but keep in touch with us.
Yes,
We want to know what's going on.
absolutely. And we will see you here next week.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Sam. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You're listening to Truth, Wellness, and Psychic Adventures with Kristin and Polly, only on LA Talk Radio.